Hello there, comic book fans. I got another video for you on the minutia of comics and some Whitman direct market newsstand variant stuff. Now, yesterday, Sarge TD, pardon me, put up a video which I'll link to below. Where he showed off a couple of his Whitman variant stuff he had, and one of the things he had was Thor 283 that had the newsstand. See, it's got the Curtis code number up there, which means it's newsstand, and the UPC, which means it's newsstand. Except his Thor 283 had a slash. 284 had a slash through the UPC, which usually means it's a Whitman direct market variant. Now I found that very odd that they would put a slash through the UPC because they need that for the newsstand. I immediately went and looked at my Thors so you see what I had around that era. I didn't have 284, but I found some even strange stuff. It must have been a very chaotic time because I have this. This was 1979, and comics were going from 35 to 40 cents. And you can see here, 281 March, and you can see what this one still has copyright 1978 right there, which is the actual year it came out. Comics were 4 months ahead, so even though this says March, this did not come out in March 1989. This came out in December 1988. So that's one of the weird things about comics, is that copyright date tells you the exact time it came out. The month tells you, just the month of the comic. It's supposed to be, they made the months like 3 or 4 months in advance in order to make the comics look fresher. But anyway, you can see in March 1989, 89. No, 79. I can't even get my years right. March 79 cover. Still only 35 cents. Then when it went up to 40 cents, this is what I find quite funny, is it must have caught them by surprise in the bullpen, because look at that. Here is the old. That's the Whitman variant, the Whitman Diamond, no Curtis code number in it. This one, for some reason, still has the UPC, so this one must have been before they started crossing them out. This one was from 1977. This is 262. So, they must not have had the new Whitman triangle ready yet, so they just took the old Whitman triangle, the old Whitman diamond, pardon me, and dropped it into the still only 35 cents burst. And this, look at, they didn't even fill in all the black correctly. So this must have been done in a rush, because it may have either been out to the printers already and they had to get it back and do it, or they may have just came in and said, oh my goodness, we need a new trade dress because it's going up to 40 cents or something. But either way, must have been chaos because they didn't get that right until, you can see this is how it's supposed to be with 285 just a couple months later. There it is with the slash out. So it's weird that when the price went, I guess the earliest ones where the price went from 35 cents to 40 cents, they were not ready with the direct market one and just kind of had to kludge that in there. Look at that. That's blank over there. That which eventually has the comics code. You can see they shifted everything over. That's just blank. I think in the newsstand version that has the CC number over there. But they just left that whole area over there blank. Well, there's some weirdness from Thor from that time. Now let's look how that change played out in Captain America. Once again, this is the price change happened from April This is the newsstand version, because over here we've got the Curtis code number and the issue number, and over here we have still only 35 cents, and we have a UPC, so he knows that's the newsstand version. Curtis was their newsstand distributor, Curtis Circulation, so hence the CC code and the CC logo. Then as we see here, they went a different way. They still kept the still only 35 cents logo, except didn't black it in. They left it white. And is this a... This must be a new... But this is weird because this is also a newsstand version. So this isn't the direct market / Whitman version. But in the newsstand version, they left... they put Captain... What was once... They once over here had... you can see there, they had the number and the Curtis code and the Curtis code number. The next month, for some reason, they put the name of the book there. And they put the Curtis code number. And over here, they kept the burst. Except in the burst, they put 40 cents and the number and month and the Curtis code logo. So they must have been flying by the seat of their pants this month. They had no standard yet. I'm guessing that in the bullpen, no one told them the price was rising and they had to come up with a whole new design for it, because they obviously had none. Because you can see in the next month, everything is, this is how it's going to be from now on the 40-cent books. UPC, so it's the newsstand version. We've got the Curtis code number up there with 40 cents and the Curtis code underneath the month. We've got the UPC over there, but you can see the difference. They just kludged together a design from previous designs for 1 month on cap until they got it all up and running. Now this is the production mistake I showed you in the other video, but I find it interesting because there's one more thing I noticed. This is SpiderMan from the same time period. We have April to May 1979 price change from 35 cents to 40 cents. And this is the one where I showed you that in making the price change, they forgot to put the Curtis code logo under 40 cents. You can see they remembered to put it in the next month. So they still didn't have the trade dress proper. They didn't have it worked out. But what I find funny is they went from, this is the 190 March, they went from still only 35 cents to a fully formed 35 cents. There was no, I mean, all the other ones went from still only 35 cents right to 40 cents. 190 to 191 for some reason. They went back, they went to this sort of fully formed, this is how they ended up with it being at 40 cents. So where did that come from? That 35 cents was completely designed, all done, they had it figured out. How come none of the other books had it on it? I found that just weird that only 191 doesn't have the still only 35 cents, nor does it have the messed up 40 cents. It's got a perfectly done 35 cents. Strange. And a quick look at Daredevil, which was a bi-monthly book at the time. So it went from March, skipped April, and went right to May. But Frank Miller's first issue, newsstand copy, has the kludged together, still only with the, I mean, if they had the new one ready to go with that Amazing Spider-Man, how come they didn't use it on the other ones? That's strange. I find it, maybe only one person in the bullpen had the new design and someone else was pasting up the rest of the covers and didn't have the new design. I don't know. It makes no sense to me that just that one Amazing Spider-Man would have the new design all ready to go and the rest of them would use these weird kludged together designs that make no sense. And finally, a book where the transition from still only 35 cents to 40 cents was completely smooth. Conan the Barbarian, 97 and 98, April and May, 1979. And as you can see here, we have nice, still only 35 cents, newsstand edition. Everything. Oh, this one's slightly different in that those are two different boxes rather than one box with a slightly different design there too. But then we went right to, you know, the 40 cents logo all ready to go, Curtis code that we all know with the bar across. So Conan transitioned over smoothly. No kludge together, burst 40 cents. Just the regular old, so maybe this one came out later in the month when they had things figured out. But anyway, there's the minutia of putting together comics for you that I find interesting. Some other weird, and I wonder what the Curtis code, the Whitman variation of this looks like. Does it have the burst on it, or does it must have the little diamond one all ready to go? But anyway, I find this stuff interesting. 1979 was obviously a bit of a chaotic year for Marvel. I think the direct market was just getting started, and they were transitioning from, I think, a lot of those diamond-shaped Whitman variants were turning into direct market. I think the direct market was starting to eat up most of those, and they were getting a formal direct market to comic shops going. And obviously, there was chaos behind the scenes in the design and trade dress. Interesting stuff. At least I think so.